Welcome back. As a part of this video, we'll understand business requirements in the context of the big data engineering project. So, from the perspective of the big data testing, we got to understand the big data requirement document, mapping sheets, schema of the source, and target. What is BRD? At a high level, BRD, that is Big Data Requirements Document, it will outline the requirements for the big data, like what are the identifiers, the descriptions, categories, source and target systems. It will also provide you the checklist. What would be the acceptance criteria? What would be the success criteria? What are the different priority levels to ensure effective testing? All those things would be provided in case of big data requirement document. And in case of mapping sheets, it provides a record of transformations between the source and target systems. In case of schema of source and target, it contains the structure of the source and target tables. Let us understand them in bit more detail. So when we talk about the big data requirement document, it will include the requirement heading. Remember, we are specifying in one of the generic format of these documents. Depending upon the project, depending upon the company, these formats may differ, but the core of the requirements would remain same or similar. Now, in case of big data requirement document, we have unique identifier ID, then we would have a requirement description, then category of is the requirement in the ingestion, storage, or processing, and then source system. What is the source system for this particular requirement, and what is the target system? And also it specify what are the different things we have to check during the each stage of the data pipeline. And then importance level, what is the high, medium, low of the requirements. Based on that, you can focus on the test. And also it provides the acceptance criteria or a success criteria. One of the sample big data requirement document would look like this. As I already indicated, the format may differ. In this case, we are specifying it in a Excel format, but you may get this in a document format. But if you see, we have a requirement ID, requirement description, category, is it a data ingestion, storage, and we have a source system, target system. Source is the data from which the data is passed on, and target where the data is loaded into, and what are the different validations which you have to check, and what is the acceptance criteria, is the priority high, and if there are any other notes. This is how sample big data requirement document would look like. Then the mapping document is also one of the very important document for any of the data engineering project. It can be big data engineering, it can be common data engineering, any of the data engineering project. So it would include transformation ID, unique identifier for mapping or a transformation role, and description. What is this transformation about? And then source table name of the table from which the data originates. And then we have target table name of the table or a system to which the data is loaded. That is a target. Depending upon the stage at which the source and target may differ. Source field name, what is the field name? See, we are looking at the tables here. Right? Within the tables, we may have some 10 fields, 10 columns. Those are also mentioned. What is the target field name? And transformation logic. Is it a aggregation? Is it a filtering? Is it a converting a higher case into lower case? All those aspects should be mentioned as a part of the transformation logic. And what is the testing scenario, which will be mostly specified by the testing team. The sample mapping sheet would look like this. As I said, transformation ID, description. What are you trying to do? What is the name of the source table? What is the name of the target table? Target, this is a target here. And source field name, target field name. This Source field name is from the source table. Target field name is from the target table. What is the transformation logic and what is the validation scenario? Then we also have a schema of a source and target. See, before we load the data into the target, you need to create the structure of a table, right? In that case, we do have different sources and targets, like name of all the tables in both source and target databases, and also column names. What are the columns in these tables? That would be there. We have data types for each field. Is it a int? Is it a varchar? Is it a date? Each field for all the columns for all the tables. That would be there. And we have a which would be the primary key, so that there is no confusion. Amongst the fields which are there here, which one should be the primary key would be indicated. And which would be the foreign key. If there is any relation between the two tables, which key should act as a foreign key, that also will be indicated. And constraints, if there are any constraints, primary key constraint, not all constraint, unique constraint, check constraints, that also will be specified. And what are the default values? Like for example, date. The date is not specified, you should take the current date, like that. And relationships, how the tables are related. So these are the different aspects mentioned in the schema of a source and also target. They will also mention about the schema of namespaces, if there is any logical grouping of the table. So this is how a sample of a schema of a source and target would look like. You can see this is the table name here. This table includes these fields, customer ID, customer name, these fields, and this field is of this data type, int, varchar, and all those things. So this is the primary key for this particular table, and not null is a constraint. So the same would go for target schemas. Wonderful. We understood how the business requirement should look like in a big data engineering project. Thank you.